I know from experience when I was in uni that designing layouts with lots of copy is honestly the worst thing, and making it look good and interesting with just a bunch of text is really difficult. So when I was at uni, I was like, no thank you, I don't want to do this. But at this point, I actually really welcome this challenge. So today is another Anda design video, as you can tell, and it's a long one, so brace yourself. Grab yourself a snack and some beverage, because it's a 1-hour design with me video today. So let's get to it. As I said before, working with lots of copy is very daunting and usually not as fun for designers. During my time at uni, I had to create a whole creative document with lots and lots of text, but they actually also wanted it to look good. And that was like the first time that I was faced with this challenge of distributing the text. And at the time, I really didn't know anything about grids. So you can only imagine how well that really went down. So anyway, fast forward to today, we're gonna do a little design challenge. I'm gonna take one of my design briefs from the 35 plus design briefs pack that I have and create a poster for it. So I picked one out that poses for a lot of copy. That is the design brief for today. And so the first step is to gather the copy and images. I picked out a bike that I liked, and I was just gathering a bunch of pictures and all the copy from their website in an Illustrator file in order for me to start the poster design. So now that I have all of those, the real work begins. So I'm gonna transition to me explaining while I'm designing. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so now is the moment to start with the actual design. I've just put the grid in and locked it in a new layer. I have all my copy here and I have my pictures. I'm starting with this for now and we'll see how far I can get. And if I need anything else, it's a process. It's a journey to design posters, so that's what we're doing. I have a bunch of copy about like some features, styling power, technology, like all of these things, because it's going to be like an informative poster, right? So what I had in my brief, if I can find it, it said to design a vintage style poster. I'm going to neglect that. I'm going to just make it a modern one, or like what I do as a style, you know? And it's for decoration, so we're just going to make it look really good. And it's gonna have like all the features around it, because that's really important. I think it's gonna be fun to look at and be like, oh, it has all of those features. And as you know, I remade one for another motorcycle, and it's kind of inspired by this design, like how we're approaching this. So we have lots of copy, a lot more than we have here, but that should be a fun challenge. So we're gonna see what I can make with it. So first, I was saying that the Ninja actually has its own sort of logo. If I go back here, it seems to have some sort of logo. I'm gonna try and extract that, but I'm not sure if I can get it. Oh, we have Kawasaki. Thank you. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna try and get it from Google. So I'm gonna just make this a vector because it's better to work with that way. I'm gonna do silhouettes and then adjust the settings just a tiny bit here to make it more realistic. Expand it and you have a vector. Look at that. Just a little tip actually. You can turn anything into a vector that way. Images are a bit more difficult if I show you quickly. If we try to turn this into a vector, it goes silhouettes. See, it kind of just makes it a silhouette. You can adjust the settings in a threshold, and the threshold is kind of how dark it is, because this is just black and then here it's like nothing. So we just drag this along and see what works. If it's something dark, it's a bit more difficult to see. But you'll see the features, and that's the most important part. So I actually quite like the look of this, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna see like what we have the shield there, the windshield. Let's It's not too important, but I quite like this, so I'm gonna expand that as well. I'm gonna make sure to group it because usually it kind of makes these like separate things and you have like remnants in there. That's not what you want, so I have this now as well. See, we're just building stuff as we go. Alright, so most important thing to start, you approach the copy kind of in the way of importance. So what's the most important thing when designing a poster about a bike? I mean, obviously the name is important, the type or the model, the build is also quite important. But then you start getting more into like what makes it unique, and then the features and the styling and all of that. So actually the most important things we're pretty much already at the top. So the Ninja 650 Performance from 2025. I'm gonna also make sure I write Kawasaki in there because it's not in there yet. So Kawasaki, I actually like it if this is uppercase. I'm thinking to make this whole poster focused on uppercase, but we'll see about that. So I'm just gonna make this really big first, probably extra bold or black. Extra bold or black? Yeah, difficult choice. Let's go for black. I also like my tracking to be a little bit reduced. Something about it just does it for me all the time. It's so good. I usually actually like to do this one as well because then it stretches it out until the entire text box, or more in the entire text box. Because if you look at it like this, it doesn't fill it as nicely, and you can just move it around like this. I think it's way easier to work with. So I have the name. Not sure where to put that yet. And maybe it's also nice if we break up the name Kawasaki. But I don't think it's intended that way, so we're not going to do that. I'm thinking of putting it here, actually. Something's calling it to me to put it here. It's nice. I love it. The blocky letters, yes. So, then maybe we can put this here. Ninja. And we need 650 to be here as well, quite clearly. Because again, this is an important feature, so we want to make sure it's present. Okay, then obviously we need some like outline or something to separate that from the title. But if you know anything about like these bikes, because they're very iconic, you know that one of the main features is actually this like toxic green color. So I'm gonna see if I can just color drop that and make it like one of the colors of the poster. So it's this color. Not sure if that's the actual color, but oh yeah, gotta change the RGB. Try again. Hello, RGB. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so maybe we also make this that color. I'm having an idea. Maybe we can put this inside the Kawasaki or in the eye. It doesn't make it too important right now if you put it here and make it kind of smaller and harder to read, but I'm kind of considering to put that text somewhere else as well, like bigger, like what I also did for the other bike here. I put R because it's the model. I put it there bigger as well, so I'm highly considering to do that as well for this one. Maybe put it here, we'll see. And then because we also have to put the year, maybe something like this. I like doing these kind of, what do you call this? I'm not sure, like squared. I don't know. And something about it also just makes me want to put it in italics or oblique. I don't know why, but it's just, it gives that a little extra feeling of speed or something. But then we also need to put this one. So I do this one. It's called sheer, but it's a way to like manually make your fonts oblique, because italics is when the font is like designed to be slanted, but oblique is when you just slant them like this with sheer. They're not specifically designed to be italics. That's what italics are for, if that makes any sense. But okay, we have the foundations for now. At this point, I kind of want to start adding some of this. I'm gonna do this one last, I think, because the colors. I want to use some of this copy. Probably make it uppercase, and possibly make it a little bit smaller. This is mouse type, so it's not too bad if it's a little bit smaller. So maybe we can call this like the concept or the idea, or I don't know, like maybe I can just repeat the title. Ninja, I don't know. Ninja 650, oh sorry, 650 2025, something like that. And then put this here, and then put this in regular, maybe sentence case, I'm not sure, but it's quite big still. I like my mouse type to be very small. It's quite a lot of text. Let's see. Writing position. So we have like, we can use 2 more here. 2 more. Was it like this? I lost count. There's 1 more. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I hope this is yeah, actually this needs to be an N, like capital N. Tech. I don't like these. I need to move the whole word to the next line, and I don't think that looks that good either, you know, with this whole gap in there. So tech, like knowledge. We can fix this later. Yeah, styling, then this. Oh no! No! Okay, we'll leave it for now. The most important part is assigning a place for the copy. I've kind of decided that this is going to be what the what the headers look like, but we also have some headers with some subheaders here, and I feel like it's nice if we kind of keep it consistent, but also maybe change it just a tiny bit to have it fit with the rest, with the colors and everything that we have assigned here. So if we say featuring, or like features, something like that. Oh, excuse me. Features, sharp, this, sharp this. I don't think it fit, no. Okay, features can be the same size as this, so 8 points. And it's gonna be in green, sorry. Green, oh. It's nicer, you can just color drop it without any trouble. I like that. Or maybe we will put this one in green. The green makes it a little less legible. So then the question again is, what is the most important part in this area? And I would say that it's this. That's the most important thing. So we want to make it as legible as possible. So we're gonna go with this, and I'm gonna repeat that for the other ones. First, I'm gonna fix this though. I think I might still go with like sentence case. Oh, didn't get it. Sentence case. It's just annoying that you manually have to change those little things. TFT colors. So these are like points, I would say, bullet points. Those are sometimes a bit more difficult to navigate in posters like this because you cannot make them look like this. Not really. But again, we will get back to this later. I think I'm gonna put the other one next to it. I'm just putting them here for now, but I don't think I'm gonna keep them here. By the way, yeah, okay, so these are the features. Oh, wait, I messed it up. Here we had like, wait, we're here. These ones were subheadings. These ones are just, those are all just the styling. But we do have a nice layout for it now. Good. That's good. I'm gonna just copy this. That's okay. Yep. Okay. Your shirt, ninja styling. Yeah. So this can go, and I want to put this somewhere else because we have a different layout going on, right? For that, than this. So this needs to be in its own area where we can freely create them. So styling. Okay, that's perfect. I'm gonna put this here and get fonts from this. Yeah, okay. And I'm gonna put it like this. Oh. Okay. Again, I have now an orphan here at the bottom. We will fix it later. Again, this is just to put your text in there. Make sure you have everything and then you start perfecting. At least that's what I do. I think that works much better. Otherwise, you're just like working in a non-strategic way, I would say. Like, you first need to put everything you have in there and then see what works and what doesn't work. Well, we're very popular with the orphans. It's not... That always kind of ticks me off, though, if I have so many with orphans. So orphan is just when you have one word at the end of the sentence. You also have widows, and that's when you have, like, a new sentence. Like, I would have 2 paragraphs, and then one would be like this. And that's it. And then it would continue like this. This is a widow. That's an orphan. And they make your text look a bit weird and less appealing. As you can see, like if I zoom out, it just looks super weird if you have one word there just hanging out. It's not nice. So that's why we really need to find a way to change that. And if you're working for a company, for example, and you're tasked with designing some sort of layout, and you notice you have a lot of orphans or it just looks a little weird, I'd highly recommend to talk to the copywriter or the person who provided you with the copy to use, and have them work with you to make the text and the design work together, because in the end that needs to be synergized. That needs to be synchronized, synergized. Anyway, they work together to make the final product. So I'd highly recommend then to talk to the copywriter to maybe change a few words around or any of that. Because otherwise it just looks weird, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're the designer. Go fix it. Well, it's the job of 2 people. Or 2 jobs. The copywriter and the designer. Okay, yeah, just do this, like put it down to quickly check if it's like aligned. The words, the lines. Because we don't start at the same time. Like, we don't start both here. This one has 2 lines, so it starts a little later. Okay, that's good for me. I also don't like this personally, so I'm kind of just do we start it here then? These are all considerations that you have to make. So that's something we will think about later. For me, it's just, oh, we'll do that later. It's just, I want everything in there first, and then I'll have a look. A proper look. I think this next one is also going to be long. Yep. Don't I know it? Oh, sorry. Handling. Okay. We're almost there. See, what is this? This copy is just not my friend. I once did some work for a client and we were working on like an e-guide, and I was just constantly like, oh no, one more orphans. Like, no. I know it sounds kind of weird. It sounds kind of weird to say it like that it's an orphan. I know it's like kind of a weird term, but yeah, that's what they're called. I'm sorry. But yeah, it just felt really annoying. Like, you add your text and you're like, no, not again. But I'm glad, like, I talked to the copywriter, then I was like, okay, please work with me to get rid of these orphans because they don't make the design look good. She was like, yeah, oh, so annoying. They keep happening. So then later we figured out together how to fix the copy and the design together. So that's why I'm saying you really need to work then with a copywriter to fix it, because it's both of your responsibility. Okay, I'm thinking of maybe putting this here. What we need to keep in mind is that we have the pictures that we need to use. And we need to make sure that the text is like complementing the overall imagery. Because the most important thing in the poster is the actual bike. That's what we're making the poster for, you know? They have to be the center of our universe. And I'm thinking this needs to be bigger. Maybe. Now we have 1 or 2 pieces of copy that still need to be added. So one of them is the twin headlights. It would be nice if we had pictures of that, and I'm gonna be scouring around to try find that in a bit. Yeah, that's not ideal placement, but don't know what to do with this for a second. I don't know. Oh, we also have the tagline that said "Ride bold." Feel it might be nice. I'm really happy with what this looks like, by the way. Looks really nice, and since we have these two together, we can just put them down, and these can be like this together as well, just having a bit more space between them. So we can put "Ride bold" maybe here as a sort of tagline. Ride bold. Now I'm kind of wondering whether we should make that same as this one, but I feel otherwise it might be too much of the slanted idea, and I'm not that big of a fan of it, so I'll leave that. Yeah, that's not a nice alignment. And then this is also not that great. What do we think? I'm not vibing with that at all. And this is annoying. I'm gonna see if I can maybe work some magic and delete the background. I think it's this one and this one. Yeah. I'm gonna open them in Photoshop. So this is a new day. I don't really remember where we left off, but let's just proceed with what we have. So I want to find some more visuals to add here because it's a little bit too empty for my taste. Okay, I'm just adding my earlier poster here because it's a nice reference for me. So one of the things that I forgot that I really like to add is some like Japanese text that has to do with the bike, because like this bike is from Japan and I want to add a little bit of that in it. So I'm gonna just find that font that I used here because it's good. Okay, I'm just stealing it from another file and I'm just putting it here for now just so I have it. I'm thinking I will probably change the font to something that looks a little bit more ninja-like, which I'm not sure what that means, but probably a little bit more like bold. I don't know. I'm just gonna check if I have one quickly. At one point I needed some Japanese fonts for a client, so I just downloaded so many of them, and now I have just the most fonts I could ever choose from. I won't say that it makes it any easier if I'm being honest, but I kind of like the one I just saw. What is this one? I don't know. I'll just keep that for now. But I feel the thing is I don't have that many pictures to choose from, which is a little bit upsetting. I'm just gonna check all those files that I downloaded again, but they literally only have 2 pictures, like side 1, side 2, no front, no nothing, so that makes it a bit more difficult for me, you know? And since I removed the background for these two, I think I'm also gonna do that for these, so we don't have like the shadow going on underneath. But I swear it kind of looks like a fish. I don't know if I want to use this image. Like, it's what the bike looks like, I can't deny that, you know, so I'm kind of just thinking I should use it, but I mean it's to be decided, I guess. I hope you don't really see the color difference. It's the same bike, it's just a different colorway. Don't come for me. What we could also do, so this is where I make copies of the poster because I am indecisive. What we could also do is to put this, what did I have in mind just now? I forgot. This, right, like right here. Make it the same font size though. 113, yep, okay. And this one also smaller, I don't remember how big it was. And put it here. Yeah, I don't know. I wanna just put it to fit in here. Can we manage? Don't know. Oh, no, not this time. Okay, so it fits, except I'm sad that it doesn't fit in this box, but we gotta do what we gotta do. So I'll let it start on this line, so at least that is aligned. And then we have that. And then I'm thinking maybe we should put these little detail pictures all here. Like this. And then maybe we can put this image like over here maybe, or also put it here. I'm a bit indecisive if I'm being honest. And I think I want to make this also bigger. It's allowed to be bigger. It's still legible, which is important. Oh, sorry. And make sure that the ninja fits nicely in that, especially in this area where there's text. Like, this looks bad, so I want to just put it somewhere where it's not intrusive, or less intrusive, more so to speak. Maybe just let it fall off the page a little bit. I think this should be okay, and I'll probably remove this later. So I'm just looking at this a little bit for reference, what I did, because I really like this design. I have a bit more text for this one though, so it's a little bit more challenging, but in a nice way. So I'm putting this here closer to the top to fill in that space, otherwise there's nothing there and it's looking a little bit awkward. So we want to make sure though that we still have like enough space here in between. So I think I'll just keep it like this. And then I can move this up as well, and it's probably gonna fit in just a little bit. Not sure if that's what I want though. I think that's okay like this. But let's see if we put it here, back where we put it before. So we have space. I don't love this image, as you know. But I don't know. We can maybe put something else here. And I did like this that I made. Maybe I want to do this for this one instead. Let's do the image trace for this one too. See what we get. But I actually like it with the shadow for that one too. So I'm gonna take the other picture. This one. Let's see. I don't know if I can do this without. Yeah, okay, good. Okay. I want to keep it a bit more simple because it's gonna be just one image. If you make it too complicated, it's gonna look it's gonna be a lot bigger in size, and you have a lot more paths, which I don't need for this right now. So I'm just gonna do it like this. You know, I'm having an idea right now. Wait, so like I kind of vibe with this alone. This is kind of doing something. I want to see what that looks like. So wait up 1 second. What am I doing? Hold up. This, no. Okay. This is kind of doing something. Don't you agree? So let me just get rid of everything. What if we put this down here and put this on top as well? So just like the ninja. And maybe we can put like, I don't know. I don't like that personally too much, but I want to put something there. So, oh, maybe we can put, because this is kind of like dedicated to the bike, right? So what if we put this over here? And I want to use this font because it's a bit cleaner. And I need that right now for the complexity of this part, like this section in the poster. It's about balance and contrast, right? So I think this is like very, very busy right now. It's got a lot of visuals to look at, so I want to make sure it's still pleasant to look at. Perhaps we could put it like this. And then obviously we need something here. So I'm gonna put my illustration skills to use a little bit. Okay. And then this one. It's nothing too important. I think I want to just outline it a little bit. There's probably better ways to do this, but I just want to see if it looks good. Where is the beginning? I don't know if I did this right. Sometimes a little bit difficult to see. Okay, this is just an idea, okay? I will make it better later if I like it. Okay, like that. I like that. What do you think? I think this is good. So what if we take all of this that we wrote and then put it up in the the design? I don't know if I can just put that here, but I just need to move everything around a lot. So the thing for me whenever I'm designing a poster is to look at how I fill the space. So what I did here is kind of balance out this part with this part. And the thing that I was struggling with is that there's parts here and here that are empty, and here too that are empty. And like obviously I use a lot of white space, and that works really well, I think, in making the design look a lot more appealing. And it allows the design to breathe where you have a lot of text on it. So normally I would be like, okay, that works, but it doesn't work because it's like so contrasting to these areas where there's a lot more going on that it just feels very weird and random. It doesn't have a purpose, you know? And you always want to make sure that your work or like what you're putting there has a purpose. So I feel that if I change the design up a little bit to something like this, it could work a lot better. What I do think is that we maybe need to scale that down indeed, so that it's like this, a little bit smaller, so that these things just work together a little better. I think for now this looks good, so I'm gonna rearrange this, see what I can do. So I think I'm gonna go put this here and then take these two and then put them underneath each other. I'm gonna crop them too because then I don't have to remove the background. Make it easy for yourself. That's also good already. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I like using these little details, like the line or the lines, arrows, to show what we're looking at. So I'm gonna make this thing that I recently came up with also. It looks very nice in designs, I think. So it's gonna be like a nice arrow to use for this. Okay. It's so small. Yep. Then we cut it over here and here. that's good. Maybe, yeah, that's good enough for me. At least for now. So then it's clear that it's turned around. I really like this little icon. So then I want to show that this is the front view, back view. And you know I'm gonna print this already, right? I'm definitely printing this out when I'm done. And I'm gonna put it on my wall. Because this is actually one of the bikes that I want to buy when I have my license finally. So I don't think the world I don't think the world is ready. I don't know if I'm ready. It's a lot of responsibility. I'm just quickly changing some of the copy or like the font size for some of them. Ooh, that wasn't a line. It wasn't. Okay, so I usually don't like starting a poster. Like, you usually look a poster like up and down. I usually enjoy putting some text or, well, not a big image at the top. As you can see, I like putting text there. Oh, sorry. For this one too. So I'm abiding to that rule. I'm just gonna drag this down a little bit to make some space for this. And usually my mouse type is actually around 6 points in size, and it's not right now, so I'm probably gonna change that and make it 6 points. Oh, excuse me. Because it works really well as mouse type for me. Oh. Yeah, but then obviously I need to change it in here too. And then I'm also gonna split this up. I'm gonna remove the period at the end. It's not necessary. And then I'm gonna put these on the side. Okay. And there should be a little bit more space between this because otherwise I can't. Maybe I'll put it like this. But again, put a little bit more space in between. So otherwise it's a bit confusing what we're looking at. So, okay. How do you feel about that? I feel pretty good about that. The only thing is that I actually prefer if we were able to put these right here within the grid. That gives me a lot more satisfaction. So I guess we'll put these here then. I know these aren't in the grid right now, but that bothers me a little less than if this is not in the grid. I like that. I think that's good. Otherwise, we need to put them on top. We can do this too. Maybe we do this. Yeah, I think it works. I'm gonna just align it with that. Right? Okay. Yep. For me, that's fine. I'm gonna enlarge this image. And perhaps I'll put this over here in green. What do we think? What do we think? There's a lot of, this is like a phase right now where we are, where a lot of experimentation takes place. Because we have practically everything that we need on the poster. Now it's up to us as designers to make something out of that. And that's the biggest challenge, honestly, to make it look like something enjoyable. So this is the moment where a lot of things happen and decisions are made. Lots of copies are made for me. And now one more because I want to see something. I always keep them because I might come back to an earlier design and I want to have to remember what it was. That's not how we roll here. Definitely not. I liked what I did for this one, to go over the letters a little bit. So that would mean I need to change these to put them next to each other, which is completely fine for me. I don't mind that at all. Because this works perfectly for me too. I'm just a bit unsure about this copy. I want to make them a little bit more interesting looking. So it's something I'll probably come back to later. Put enough space between them to make sure that this is seen as a group and this is seen as a group. So it's all about like proximity, items together, items apart. What do they mean together and apart? Oh, I'm dropping lines. Okay, so I'm gonna stretch it out until it's covering the whole grid from here to here. I don't know how I feel about doing that with this thing here too. It makes it kind of heavy on this side. We'll see. Again, it's a part of the process of figuring out what I want to do. We now also have these to add. So let's just add that text for now. I like that it goes behind the bike, because these are like, they're important, but at the same time they're not that important. The most important is the title and the type of bike, and like, I mean the title, the brand, and then the type of bike, so everybody recognizes that it's a Ninja. So maybe I'm supposed to make it a bit bigger. Don't you agree? I agree. But we can kind of make this a logo for Ninja itself. For like, ooh, wait, hold up. I know that this doesn't say anything related to this brand right now, because I took it from the Yamaha. But it's placeholder, okay? It's placeholder. We got this, we got this. So I'm thinking this could actually look better, but what I had with this works super well on its own. I think together it's too much, but I'm kind of thinking if we can maybe add it somewhere, like in the letter, or I don't know, here. Maybe make this a little bit smaller. No. No, that's not it. But maybe we can put it here. I want to kind of use that as a way to brand it. So I'm thinking we could use this along with this. I want to put this a bit closer together. Maybe like this. Kawasaki Ninja 650. I mean Ninja 650. Sorry. And then just make it that bit smaller so it fits right there. Or fits here. What do you say? Maybe put it here. I want to make it the same color. What I just did was actually really cool. If I make that really big and put this in front. Stop. Hold up. Why is that cool? I think every time I'm using this visual, it's just working. The thing is, how am I going to put it in the poster? But I like it a lot. I really do. I'm gonna try to make it a bit more slanted so it fits along with the... Still not enough. I'm not a fan of using this though. As you can see, it kind of morphs the letters a little bit too much in my opinion. No, we can't put it on the outside either. Okay, I'm gonna just make it, outline it. And then you can do a lot more with the editing of the stroke. How about that? Could have done offset path as well, because now they're like blended together, which is not nice in my opinion. Okay, that's not necessary. This is just a thought that might come to some fruition or not. It's a complex moment right now. I'm really vibing with this look. I'm kind of really thinking, what if we put this, make this just a little bit longer, so it's like a road going there. And then I'm getting carried away because I know this idea is not going to work in the poster, but that doesn't matter. I don't know, this is just it for me. Yeah, I could wear this on a shirt 100%. 100%. And yes, change the text here. I know. Oh. Well, let's save it before it just shuts down or something. Okay, I'm gonna see what Kawasaki is written as in Japanese. Ooh. Well, that's not really my thing. I wish there were more characters in part of this. Okay. Right, let's go back to my actual problem right now. See, I don't think I want to cut it off, but I'm gonna cut it off a little bit. Put it there, and maybe, is it weird if I put it also in this one? We can put it here. In the middle, align it. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a little additional item, and I'm gonna put it here like this. I think, I don't know, I'm indecisive, as you can tell. We have spent the last like 10 minutes working on this. Okay, I think we're good for now for this. But then we're here left again with some empty space that I don't really know what to fill up with. One thing we could do, because it's important to know that this is a 650. That's like one piece of important information. So what if I take this and write 650 and then put it on the wall? That's what I'm calling it now, but it's not obviously, but it's a kind of a wall. See, now we do have to change. I do need to remove the background. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend like I don't need to do that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not vibing with that. Oops. We could make them a little bit bigger. I feel like that's not an offense to me. I'm gonna be playing around with this a little bit probably without commentary, because I mean, I don't feel like you're getting anything from me because I'm just experimenting at this point. And I'm probably gonna let it sit also for a bit, so we can just think about it and come to a better conclusion. Sometimes it's also because you're just staring at things for too long and it's just not helping. So I'm gonna let it rest for a bit, work on something else, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I have more ideas. Okay, I have another idea. What if we put this as like background noise, kind of, here? So this is Kawasaki in Japanese, apparently. But what if I put it here? Or at least somewhere around the back somewhere. Could also go here. That looks kind of nice, doesn't it? Here, I'm not sure if I like it. It looks very random. You don't get anything out of it. We could put it here. Maybe I'll also make these green. The arrows. And this one too. Oh. Maybe we can make it a bit bigger too. Yeah. Good. I'm thinking I want to add something to the background here. The question is what that's gonna be. I could also put this in the background. I'm just trying it. I want to know what that looks like on a poster. Just quickly gonna try that out. I have a poster here. Because if I cut it properly, you don't really see it. It just looks like paintbrush, which I think is kind of cool. Like, I feel like it's missing that little bit of wow factor. I think this adds a nice touch to it. But for this, we could just remove that. Yeah. I like it. Maybe that's just it. Some details. It's important to me that there's a little bit of a wow factor, at least in the back, like that highlights the bike itself. And there is quite a lot going on, and I want a bit more focus on that. I'm thinking of maybe also trying another version. I'm just constantly rearranging things. Give me a second. Because this was the concept from the start, but what if we don't do that? Maybe I'm gonna check it out. See how it looks for me. Yeah, I really think it's important that we show the ninja, so I think this is good. Looks good. So here's the final design. I actually realized along the way that I forgot to include the colors. So the final designs do have the available colors of this bike, but I forgot to include it. I also made a version with an outlined background visual. I think both of them work really nicely, and of course I couldn't forget to include the shirt design that I really liked. And that concludes the video. I really hope you got a bit of a better idea of my design process and it helps you a bit along the way. You can head to the description for some helpful links and resources as well, and also the 35 design briefs that I made for you. I think there's some really fun ones in there that you can try out. And also please leave a comment if you have any questions. I will try my best to answer any of the questions you have. And I want to thank you so much for watching, and let's secretly hope that somebody from Kawasaki sees this and loves it. Anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you soon.